Okay, I'm starting a new book here. Learn Python 3 the hard way. A very simple introduction to the terrifying, beautiful world of computers and code. Alrighty then. Okay, so we just skip over this and okay, preface. This simple book is meant to get you started in programming. The title says it's the hard way to learn to write code, but it's actually not. It's only the hard way because it uses a technique called instruction. Instruction is where I tell you to do a sequence of controlled exercises designed to build a skill through repetition. This technique works very well with beginners who know nothing and need to acquire basic skills before they can understand more complex topics. It's used in everything from martial arts to music to even basic math and reading skills. Okay. This book instructs you in Python by slowly building and establishing skills through techniques such as practice and memorization, then applying them to increasingly difficult problems. By the end of the book, you will have the tools needed to begin learning more complex programming topics. I like to tell people that my books give you your programming black belt. What this means is that you know the basics well enough to now start learning programming. If you work hard, take your time and build these skills, you will learn to code. Improvement in Python 3 edition. Okay. Learn Python 3 now uses Python 3.6. I have standardized on this version of Python because it has a new improved string formatting system that is easier to use than previous 4 or 3 versions. Okay. There are a few problems with 3.5 Python 3.6 for beginners, but I help you navigate these issues in the book. A particularly hairy problem is that Python 3.6 has very poor error message in some key areas that I help you understand. I have also improved the videos based on my experience over the last 5 years teaching people Python. You can watch these videos online at here. In the past videos simply let you in the past the videos let you watch me do the exercise. The Python 3 edition videos also show you how to break and fix every exercise. Okay, maybe I should. Okay, file not found. Well, okay. Where's the? Okay, I'll copy that and paste it here. Let's go. So I have a description, add to cart, free shipping. No. I should have a sign in. I think I do have account. Williams Shane 883 @gmail.com. Okay, a confirmation message. Let's check Gmail. Yeah. What happened? Is it confirmed? Please verify your email address by following this link. But I'm brought back here. Okay. Okay, you mind. Registered product. I want to register another product. Yes. Okay, so let me check the ISBN number on this. Where? Okay. There we go. ISBN number is this. Right. Simply enter or 13. What is the first word of exercise 40? Okay, so we'll move on to exercise 40, and first word is Python. Right. Okay, so now access bonus content. Can't I download it in a zip?
Linux user. Then
Okay, so alright, doesn't really matter. I'll go to preface and then preface. Okay, so I was here. Then in the past videos, okay, this skill is called debugging. It teaches you how to fix problems you run into, but also how Python runs the program you're creating. The goal of this new methodology is to build a mental model of how Python runs your code, so you can more easily figure out why it's broken. You'll also learn many useful tricks for debugging broken software. Last, the Python 3 edition fully supports Microsoft Windows 10 from beginning to end. The previous edition focused mostly on Unix style systems such as Mac OS and Linux, with Windows being more of an afterthought. At the time I started writing the Python 3 edition, Microsoft had started to take open source tools and developers seriously, and it was difficult to ignore them as a serious Python development platform. The videos feature Microsoft Windows using Python in various scenarios, and also how Mac OS and Linux for full compatibility. I tell you about any gotchas on each platform, cover installation, instructions, and provide any other tips I can give you. Okay. The hard way is easier. With the help of this book, you will do the incredibly simple things that all programmers do to learn a programming language. Go through each exercise, type in each file exactly, make it run. That's it. That's it. This will be very difficult at first, but stick with it. If you go through this book and do each exercise for 1 or 2 hours a night, you will have a good foundation for moving on to another book about Python to continue your studies. Right. This book won't turn you into a programmer overnight, but it will get you started on the path to learning how to code. This book's job is to teach you the 3 most essential skills that a beginning programmer needs to know: reading and writing, attention to detail, and spotting differences. Okay. Reading and writing. If you have a problem typing, you will have a problem learning to code, especially if you have a problem typing the fairly odd characters in source code. Without this simple skill, you will be unable to learn even the most basic things about how software works. Typing the code samples and getting them to run will help you learn the names of the symbols, get familiar with typing and get you reading the language. Attention to detail. The one skill that separates good programmers from bad programmers is attention to detail. In fact, it's what separates the good from the bad in any profession. Right, this is. You must pay attention to the tiniest details of your work. You must pay attention to the tiniest detail of your work, or you will miss out important elements of what you create. In programming, this is how you end up with bugs and difficult to use systems. By going through this book and copying each example exactly, you will be training your brain to focus on the details of what you are doing as you are doing it. Spotting differences, a very important skill that most programmers develop over time, is the ability to visually notice differences between things. An experienced programmer can take 2 pieces of code that are slightly different and immediately start pointing out the differences. Programmers have invented tools to make this even easier, but we won't be using any of these. You first have to train your brain the hard way, then use tools. While you do these exercises, typing each one in, you will make mistakes. It's inevitable. Even seasoned programmer would make a few. Your job is to compare what you have written to what's required and fix all the differences. By doing so, you will train yourself to notice mistakes, bugs, and other problems. Ask, don't stare. If you write code, you will write bugs. A bug means a defect, error. or problem with the code you've written. The legend said that this comes from an actual moth that flew into one of the first computer, causing it to malfunction. Fixing it required debugging the computer. In the world of software, there are a lot of bugs, so many. This was nice. Like the first moth, your bugs will be hidden somewhere in the code, and you have to go find them. You can't just sit at your computer screen staring at the words you've written, hoping that the answers jump out at you. There's no more additional information you can get doing that, and you need additional information. You need to get up and go find the moth. To do that, you have to interrogate your code and ask it what is going on, or look at the problem from a different view. In this book, I frequently tell you to stop staring and ask. I show you how to make your code tell you everything it can about what's going on and how to turn this into possible solutions. I also show you how to see your code in different ways so you can get more information and insight. Okay. Do not copy paste. You must type each of these exercises in manually. If you copy paste, you might as well not even do them. The point of these exercises is to train your hands, your brain, and your mind in how to read, write, and see code. If you copy paste, you are cheating yourself out of the effectiveness of the lessons. Using the included videos, Learn Python 3 the hard way has an extensive set of videos demonstrating how the code works and, most importantly, how to break it. The videos are the perfect place to demonstrate many common errors by breaking the Python code on purpose and showing you how to fix it. I will also walk through the code using debugging and interrogation tricks and techniques. The videos are where I show you how to stop staring and ask. You can hear. Okay. A note on practice and persistence. While you are studying programming, I am studying how to play guitar. I practice it every day for at least 2 hours a day. I play scales, chords, and arpeggios for an hour and then learn music theory, ear training, songs, and anything else I can. Some days I study guitar and music for 8 hours because I feel like it and it's fun. To me, repetitive practice is natural and just how to learn something. Okay. I know that to get good at anything, I have to practice every day, and even if I suck that day, which is often or it's difficult, keep trying and eventually it will be easier and fun. Between the time that I wrote Learn Python the hard way and Learn Ruby, I discovered drawing and painting. I fell in love making visual art at the age of 39 and have been spending every day studying it in much the same way I studied guitar, music, and programming. I collected books of instructional material, did what the book said, painted every day, and focused on enjoying process of learning. I am by no means an artist or even that good, but I can now say that I can draw and paint. The same method I am teaching you in the book applied to my adventures in art. If you break the problem down into small exercises and lessons and do them every day, you can learn to do almost anything. If you focus on slowly improving and enjoying the learning process, you will benefit no matter how good you are. Okay, as you study this book and continue with programming, remember that anything worth doing is difficult at first. Maybe you are the kind of person who is afraid of failure, so you give up at the first sign of difficulty. Maybe you never learned self-discipline, so you can't do anything that's boring. Maybe you were told that you are gifted, so you never attempt anything that might make you seem stupid or not a prodigy. Maybe you're competitive and unfairly compare yourself to someone like me who's been programming for more than 20 years. Whatever your reason for wanting to quit, keep at it. Force yourself. If you run into a study drill you can't do or a lesson you just do not understand, then skip it and come back to it later. Just keep going, because with programming there's this very odd thing that happens at first. At first you will not understand anything. It will be weird, just like the learning any human language. You will struggle with words and not know what symbols are what. And it will be all very confusing. Then one day, bang, your brain will snap and you will suddenly get it. If you keep doing the exercises and keep trying to understand them, you will get it. You might not be a master coder, but you will at least understand how programming works. This is some good stuff, man. If you give up, you won't ever reach this point. You will hit you will hit the first confusing thing, which is everything at first, and then stop. If you keep trying it, and keep trying to understand it and reading about it, you will eventually get it. If you go through this whole book and you still do not understand how to code, at least you gave it a shot. You can say you tried your best and a little. Okay. Okay, acknowledgements. Yeah. Alright, so the setup. I have this exercise has no code. It is simply the exercise you complete to get your computer to run Python. You should follow these instructions exactly as possible. If you have problems following the written instructions, then watch the included videos for your platform. Okay, Mac OS, we don't need that. Windows, I think I already have that, type quit. Ooh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that, man. I didn't know that. Because I always struggled, I always struggled to like Python, and it was like because Control Z, only end of the file it would, but then I can quit neatly. That's good. Okay, go to this Atom text editor. Atom, what is Atom? I always okay. Atom text editor. What is Atom like? Bro, is hold up. A hackable text editor for 21st. Well, this looks good, but GitHub for Atom, that's good, but I think it's good, but I think I'll stick to Notepad++. I'm used to it. Okay, make sure to get easily by putting on a desktop. Click launch both options. If you cannot run Atom because your computer is not fast enough, then see alternative text editors. Run PowerShell from start menu, enter run. Quick launch on your PowerShell terminal. It won't look like much. Download Python from here. In your PowerShell, run Python. Okay, there we go. Then you should be prompt similar. Learn how to make a directory. Learn how to change in a directory. Use the editor to create a file in the directory. Make save or save as and pick this directory. Go back to PowerShell. Switch windows. Okay, and there we go. Test.txt. Okay, then next. Okay, finding things on the internet. A major part of this book is learning to research programming topics online. I'll tell you to search for this on the internet, and your job is to use a search engine to find the answer. The reason I have you search instead of just giving the answer is because I want you to be an independent learner who does not need my book when you're done with it. Okay. Alright. Okay, let's continue. Okay, need my book. You're done it. If you can find the answers to your questions online, then you are one step closer to not needing me, and that is my goal. Okay, that is good, man. Okay, thanks to search engines such as Google, you can easily find anything. I'll tell. I'll tell you to find. If I say search online for Python list functions, and then you simply do this. Okay. Warning for beginners: you are done with this exercise. This exercise might be hard for you depending on your familiarity on your computer. If it is difficult, take the time to read and study and get through it. Because until you can do these very basic things, you will find it difficult to get much programming done. If someone tells you to stop at a specific exercise in this book or to skip certain ones, you should ignore that person. Anyone trying to hide knowledge from you or worse, make you get it from them instead of through your own efforts is trying to make you dependent on them for your skills. Don't listen to them and do the exercises anyway so that you learn to educate yourself. A programmer will eventually tell you to use macOS or Linux. If the programmer likes fonts and typography, they'll tell you to get a macOS computer. If he likes control and has a huge beard, he will or she will If you prefer non-gendered program for humans with beards, tell you to install Linux. Again, use whatever computer you have right now that works. All you need is an editor, a terminal, and a Python. And Python. Yeah. Finally, the purpose of this setup helps you to do three things very reliably while you work on these exercises. Write exercises using the text editor, run exercises you wrote, fix them when they are broken, and repeat. Anything else will only confuse you, so stick to the plan. Alternative text editor. Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. These are ranked in order most likely to work. Keep in mind that these projects may be abandoned, dead, or not work anymore on your computer. If you try one and it doesn't work, try another. I've also listed works on in order most likely to work. So if you're in Windows, then look at the editors where Windows listed. If you already know how to use Vim or Emacs, then feel free to use them. If you have never used Vim, then avoid them. Programmers may try to convince you to use Vim or Emacs, but this will only derail you. Your focus is learning Python, not learning Vim or Emacs. If you try to use Vim and don't know how to quit, then okay. If someone told you to use Vim and they didn't even tell you this, then now you know why you should listen to them. Okay. Do not use an integrated development environment while you go through this book. Relying on an IDE means that you can't work with new programming languages until some company decides to sell you an IDE for that language. This means that you can't use that new language until the language is large enough to justify a lucrative customer base. If you are confident you can work with only a programmer's text editor, then you don't have to wait for a third party. IDEs are nice in some situations, such as working with a giant existing code base, but being addicted to them will limit your future. You should also not use idle. It has some serious limitations in how it works and isn't a very good piece of software. All you need is simple text editor, a shell, and Python. Okay, good first program. So I'll just make a directory on one good first program. A good first program. Okay. Warning, if you skipped exercise 0, then you are not doing this book right. Are you trying to use idle or an IDE? I said not to use one in exercise 0. You should not use one. If you skipped exercise 0, please go back and read it. Okay. You should have spent a good amount of time in exercise 0 learning how to install a text editor, run the text editor, run the terminal, and work with both of them. If you haven't done that, then do not go on. You will not have a good time. This is the only time I'll start an exercise with a warning that you should not skip or go ahead. Type the following text into a single file named ex1.py, and Python works best with the file ending in .py. So we will go ahead and create ex1.py. Okay, I think I have set alias. Name is np and value is notepad plus plus. There we go. Okay, so np ex1.py. Right. So I want print hello world, print hello again. Go. Sorry. Print hello world, then print hello again. Then I like typing this. Then this is fun. Yay, printing. Yay, printing. Okay, there's a full stop. Oh, there's a full stop with everything. My man like grammar. Then print I'd much rather you not. I'd much rather you not. Full stop, man. And I said, do not touch this. Okay, I said, do not touch this. Okay, so basically we use double quotes outside, then we can use these single quotes to enclose any string, and the reverse is also true. Your Atom text editor should look something like this on all platforms, right? Don't worry if your editor doesn't look exactly the same, it should be closer though. You may have a slightly different window header, maybe slightly different colors, and the left side of your Atom window won't say Z-show, but will instead show the directory you used for saving your files. All of those differences are fine. When you create this file, keep in mind these points. I did not type the line numbers on the left, those are printed in the book, so I can talk about specific lines by saying C line 5. You do not type line numbers into Python scripts. Okay, that's right. I have the print at the beginning of the line, and it looks exactly the same as what I have in exercise.py, exercise1.py. Exactly means exactly, not kind of sort of the same. Every single character has to match it to work. Color doesn't matter, only the character is typed. In Mac OS terminal, type 3, Python 3.6, exercise 1 on Windows, and you should see this. Okay, let's Python ex1.py, there we go. You may see different names before the Python in the command, but the important part is that you type the command and see the output is the same as mine. Okay, if you have an error, it will look like this. End of line while scanning. It's important that you can read these error messages because you will be making many of these mistakes. Even I make many of these mistakes. Let's look at this line by line. We ran a command in the terminal to run exercise1.py script. Python tells the file exercise1.py has an error on line 3. Okay, so this line 3, it prints this line of code for us to see. Okay, so it prints this line of code. Then it puts a caret character to point at where the problem is. Okay, note the missing double quote character. Finally, it prints out a syntax error and tells us something about what might be the error. Usually these are very cryptic, but if you copy the text into a search engine, you will find someone else who's had that error, and you can probably figure out how to fix it. Okay. Study drills. The study drills contains things you should try to do. If you can't, skip it and come back later. For this exercise, try these things. Make your script print another line. Make your script print only one of the lines. Or you put a octothorpe character at the beginning of a line. What did it do? Try to find, okay, I know these things. Make your script print only one of the lines. Script only print one of the lines? I don't understand. From now on, I won't explain how each exercise works unless an exercise is different. Make your script print only one of the, okay, only one of the line. So we delete everything else. Common student questions. These are actual questions that real students have asked when doing the exercise. And octothorpe is also called a pound, hash, mesh, or any. Saying chill out. Okay, can I use idle? No, you should use terminal on Mac OS and PowerShell on Windows, just like I have here. If you don't know how to use those, then you can go read the appendix. How do you edit colors in your editor? Save your file first as a .py, then you will have color when you type. I get syntax error, invalid syntax when I run. You are probably trying to run Python, then trying to type Python again. Close your terminal, then start it again. Okay, right. I can't open file. Yeah, no such file directory. You need not to be in the same directory as the file you created. Make sure you use the cd command to go to there first. Let's finish our book. So I can't open, no such. You need to be in the same directory as the file you created. Make sure you use the cd command to go there first. For example, if you saved your file in learn Python the hard way ex1, then you should do cd. Therefore, trying to run. If you don't know what any of that means, then go through the appendix. Okay, my file doesn't run. I just get a prompt back with no output. You most likely took the code in my and thought print meant to type hello world into the file without the print. Your file has to be exactly like mine. Okay, and we're done. Okay boys, so that's it for today.